Here is our Snowpack Outlook briefing for May 3rd. Here is the week in review. We have warm and dry temperatures through Tuesday, April 30th, when a weak dust event occurred. A cold front then moved across the area Tuesday night, bringing much colder temperatures with rain and snow into Wednesday. The highest amounts occurred across Route, Eagle, and Pickens counties with 0.4 to 1 inch of precipitation and 8 to 12 inches of snow, mainly over the northern and central mountains. Seasonably cold temperatures occurred Wednesday through Friday, with freeze warnings across the lower valleys on both Thursday and Friday. Here's a photo of the Wolf Creek Pass snow profile on April 12, 2013, provided by the Center for Snow and Avalanche Studies. It shows a fresh dust layer buried 9 inches below the surface of an effectively isothermal snowpack. This dust layer was from early April. Later dust events in April were deposited through the middle of the month, and despite these storms, the snowpack began to rapidly melt. As a result of the rapid melt, the dust layers from all the dust events in April and even from early February have now merged, as indicated by the brown surface layer in the right figure. This dust layer at the surface will reduce the surface albedo and increase the potential heating of the snowpack by the sun, which will lead to further enhanced melting. The next slide shows the April precipitation across the region ending April 28th, which is effectively the total precipitation for the month, since little or no additional precipitation fell after the 28th. We received beneficial precipitation across much of the region, with the exception of the areas around Four Corners region in southeastern Utah and southwestern Colorado. During the next several slides, we will discuss snowpack or snow water equivalent, which is defined as the amount of snow or liquid water in the snow currently on the ground. In other slides, we will talk about the precipitation, which is the amount of liquid water equivalent that fell as rain or snow. In this slide, we will show a time series as indicated by the horizontal axis in months and the snow water equivalent in inches on the left-hand column. The median is denoted by the dark red line, and this indicates the middle point, or that 50% of the occurrences happen above and 50% below this line. The black line indicates our current water year. Other lines indicated are the very dry 2012 water year, indicated by the light blue, the very wet 2011 water year, denoted by the yellow, and the very average 2010 water year, denoted by the green. Here are some highlights from this graph. As it is noted, our current water year, which is indicated by the black line, was very close to the median line last week before we had an accelerated melt earlier this past week, which dropped the numbers down to 85% of normal for this date. But this is still well ahead of last year. Our peak this year occurred on April 24th, as opposed to the average peak day of April 8th. The next slide shows a Colorado statewide precipitation summary as of May 3rd. As opposed to the snow water equivalent or snowpack, this figure denotes the precipitation, both rain and snow, that has fallen during this past water year. The left column shows the averages for the state, the second column our current water year, the third column last year, the fourth column 2011, and the last column 2002. Each color band in the column denotes a month of precipitation. We will concentrate on the blue blocks, which denote the precipitation that fell in April, and this time is marked by the red horizontal line in each of the columns. Here are some highlights. The statewide precipitation is running about 5 inches below average, but very similar to the 2012 water year. We're about 5 inches above the record-breaking dry water year of 2002. On average, the statewide precipitation usually sees an additional 10 inches of precipitation May through September, with June typically being the driest month ahead of the increasingly wetter months of July through September. Here are the snow water equivalent values based on the percent of average for each basin from last Friday. Here we can see large deficits, especially across the south, where 60% of average is shown. Across the north, the values are closer to 100% of average. As we bring in the updated snow graph from May 3rd, all areas are showing some decreases from the previous week, mostly due to the accelerated snowmelt earlier in the week. The northern area decreases were offset by the precipitation on May 1st and due to the cooler temperatures during the second half of the week, and did not see the drastic decreases as shown in the southern sections, which are now around 40% of average. Here are the year-to-date precipitation based on the percent of average for each basin from last Friday. As you can see here, most of the northern areas are showing near 90% of normal, or percent of average, and the southern sections are showing about 70% of average. As we bring in the updated year-to-date precipitation from May 3rd, you can see the northern areas saw slight increases based on the precipitation on May 1st and the cooler temperatures during the second half of the week. However, the southern bases did show a downward trend. So what can we expect for the next week ahead? Here is a map showing the precipitation forecast through next Friday. As indicated by the black arrow over our area, it looks like a fairly wet week ahead, with shower activity expected each day through Wednesday, and there is even a chance of thunderstorms each day. We can expect at least 1/4 of an inch of precipitation over the lower elevations, with over an inch of precipitation possible over the higher terrain through next Friday morning. The rain snow lines will range between 9,000 and 10,000 feet through this period. Temperatures are expected to be seasonally cool through next week. Here are the high temperatures expected on Tuesday, May 7th, which should be a good indication of what to expect for the remainder of the week. So in summary, for the snowpack through next week, we can expect unsettled weather with seasonally cool temperatures expected through the middle of next week. Shower activity through Wednesday with snow levels between 9 and 10,000 feet. What does that mean for the snowpack? We should see some slower melt with cloudy conditions, seasonally colder temperatures, and we may see some rises in some rivers due to precipitation and combined with the snow melt. That will conclude our snowpack outlook briefing for May 3rd.